Adding a realistic tan in Photoshop isn't just about making the skin darker and more orange. Sure, you could get by with minimal effort and just one adjustment layer, but you're better off adding a couple more for a perfect result. I'll show you how. This will be a professional, non-destructive workflow that's easy to automate. We'll change the hue in the midtones, protect the bright highlights from turning yellow, and set up a layer structure so you can record in action. To color only the skin, we need to create a mask for it. Otherwise, it will just look like the white balance is changing instead of the skin color, making it hard to properly evaluate the result. For example, here's a popular way to darken skin using color lookup and a LUT. We've tinted the whole photo, added a black mask, and started painting over it to reveal the tan on the skin. This takes forever, it's inconvenient, and you have no real idea what you're getting until the mask is completely finished. So, we're better off starting with a skin mask. Traditionally, this was done using the color range tool set to skin tones. But look at this mask. It grabs a lot of unnecessary stuff: clothes, the background, hair. You'd spend 10 minutes cleaning this up with a brush. A total waste of time. What about Photoshop's built-in AI? In recent versions, Select Subject can detect people and select their body parts. But unfortunately, you can't select all the skin at once here. You have to pick every part separately. Sometimes the parts you need simply aren't on the list. Plus, this mask still needs manual cleanup. There can be gaps between body parts, and it doesn't separate small clothing details very well. But wait, there's a skin mask in Lightroom now, which means it's also in the Adobe Camera Raw filter. Here in the Masks panel, you can select facial and body skin. Surprisingly, the result is usually better than in Photoshop. But there are two problems here. The first is the same. The AI often bleeds onto clothes or misses small patches of skin, which can break batch processing. The second problem? You're stuck inside Camera Raw. You can't output this mask to use Photoshop's adjustment layers. You have to rely entirely on the tools available right here. Let's lower the exposure and add some warmth and magenta. Tweak the curves a bit. And there's our tan. We just need to paint in the mask on the stomach a bit. So, if you only process photos in Lightroom, use this method. So, Photoshop still can't select skin completely automatically. Its masks still need to be checked and refined by hand. For a fully automated workflow, professionals use a dedicated neural network. Let's run the Retouch4me Skin Mask plugin. Everything happens automatically. Usually, you don't even need to adjust any settings. The skin selection is precise. Clothes, lips, and eyes are excluded. Separation from the background is perfect. It even detected the tattoo. Just look at this mask! I'll create a group, name it Tanning, and apply this mask to it. Now, any color adjustment we create inside this group will only affect the skin. Now let's set up the color. Most people try using hue saturation and end up ruining the image. The pro approach is Selective Color. In the Reds channel, slightly decrease cyan and maybe increase yellow and magenta to get a golden tint. In the yellows, add a bit more yellow. Keep the black slider at 0 so you don't get noise in the shadows. We're only warming up the midtones. A real tan absorbs light, so the skin needs to become darker. We'll do this using curves. Just pull the curve down roughly in the middle and make sure it affects the midtones, not the highlights and shadows. Highlights reflect the color of the light source, not the skin pigment, so their color shouldn't change. If the highlights turn yellow or dark, the tan will look unnatural. In the mask properties, we'll add some feathering to avoid a harsh transition to the dark skin. In most cases, we could stop right here, but in this photo, the skin turns out too uneven because of the lighting. This can be fixed with a gradient map adjustment layer. This tool lets you fill a specific brightness range with your chosen colors and adjust the transitions very smoothly. We simply pick a point in middle of the range and select a tan color we like. Then we adjust exactly where it will be applied and how it will blend in. This way, we got rid of all the mixed color tones on the stomach. The perceptual method works better here. Also, the curves layer brought out some spots on the face. We'll remove that with a mask. And in the blending options, we'll make sure the curve doesn't affect the shadows and highlights to preserve the original volume. Split the sliders by holding Alt, otherwise the transition will be very harsh. Afterwards, you can quickly adjust the layer opacities. If you need to locally reduce or increase the effect, you can easily do it with masks. And let's add one more curves layer with a mask to darken the stomach. You can separately adjust the opacity of each adjustment layer to achieve the most natural color. The group mask applies to all layers inside it. It can be quickly corrected if you find any inaccuracies. Let's see what we've got. The color is rich, the shadows are clean, and the highlights haven't changed their tint. You fix the details while zoomed in, but you should judge the overall photo from a distance. Now let's check how this works on another photo. I'll just run the action. The beauty of adjustment layers is that this is a completely reversible operation. They sit on top of the image and only affect the skin color. Meanwhile, the original layer with the photo can still be retouched at any time. I'll show you how to go back to retouching after all these corrections. I'll turn off the adjustment layers and run the Retouch4me Photoshop panel. Now we have two separate groups, one for retouching and one for skin coloring. All changes are reversible. You can go back and redo them at any moment. Creating the group of tanning layers can be recorded as an action. In the video description, you can download a ready-made action like this in two versions. One creates the mask using Photoshop's AI, and the other uses the plugin. The link to the Retouch4me Skin Mask demo is also down there, so you can try it all out for yourself. Now you know how to select skin and work with its color quickly and efficiently. Work smart, not hard. Subscribe to the channel. We've got more professional tips coming up on retouching and speeding up your workflow. See you in the next video.